Hey everyone, it's me, Sean Capri. I'm glad you're here because you're listening to the most wholesome Nintendo podcast out there. It's the Nintendo Drive. I'm on a Skype call with my friend Console Caito, the sauciest potato, and on our journey today, we've got all the questions coming in from you, and we've got some raspy voices, so I hope you guys enjoy that. So jump on into the Nintendo Drive. Bye. Here we go.
Hi, Sean.
First take, I did it. Console Caito, how are you?
Pretty good.
I have a question for you. I have a question for you right off the bat before we kind of address the throat issue that's kind of happening here that I hope people enjoy. You know, I feel like it's a new sort of timbre in our voices. I feel like it's a nice thing to look forward to in January. It's probably going to happen. It's probably a recurring thing that will happen for us. I have a question for you. Have you ever taken an emergency shower?
An emergency shower?
And whatever that means to you, have you ever just need unexpectedly?
I would say yes.
Okay. Yeah. Cause that's what I just did. Like just before this call.
Okay.
I think you saw me. I was in the Google Doc. I was working on things and I'm like, hang on a second. How many days has it been? I've got 5 minutes to before this show starts. And I need to clean. I had a need to clean and I feel I gotta say, like, why haven't I been doing this every day? Because, like, I haven't been feeling so great. Like, we'll just put it out there. But a shower makes everything better, you know? At least it does for me. Once you get to
that point where you can actually tolerate standing up to be in the shower for that long. Yeah,
That's true.
I agree.
Yeah, because, you know, and it's so stupid, too. Like, sometimes when you're so sick, you don't even want to, like, play games. Like, that's too much energy. Like, that's the dumbest thing. It's almost like when you're a kid, you look forward to being sick. You can stay home and do whatever you want. And you're an adult and you're like, somehow, like, holding the controller and paying attention is just like a step too far for me right now.
Right.
So, yeah.
It's hard. It's a lot of brain power to sit there and
I'm telling you. But emergency shower, that was a glorious moment. And I'm curious to know from people what that means for other people, an emergency shower. Like maybe something terrible happens to you. Maybe you have a kid or a pet or something that kind of makes a mess on you. Yeah. And that could be an emergency shower situation.
That's where I was going with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it's like safe for podcasting.
Fair.
Emergency shower. You know,
okay.
Like, it's like, okay.
Patreon exclusive story, I think. I'm slowly but surely. I have a call with the doctor later on today to find out what's going on. I've been recommended by my mother-in-law, who's a nurse. She's like, go get a chest X-ray. I'm like, that sounds like the last place I want X-rays to happen. But I guess probably should, get things checked out. But I'm at the stage now where if I don't go into a full-on coughing fit, I sound like I've been smoking for the last 74 years. And that kind of like just dry, like, like I don't even want to like do it. But I feel like I've met the people and I can smell their houses when I laugh and I hear the sound of my own laugh. It's not me.
Okay. So no laughing today.
No laughing. Very serious show.
It has to be serious.
You can't even say we're going to have a serious show. Like, no, come on. What is this?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to do my best as
Me
well
too.
Because obviously I'm also sick. So y'all enjoy this wonderful raspy episode.
The Nintendo phlegm.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Reminder, as always, you can listen to the Nintendo Drive and all of the Yumi and Capri content over on YouTube, youtube.com/Yumi Capri. We have a comment from Magic Time with Victoria who says, thank you for talking about this in your stream, Caito. I absolutely loved every second. The tea is so good. I subscribed, would love a story mode for Mario Kart 9. That would be interesting.
We've been hearing a lot of that, actually.
Yeah.
People wanted a little new twist for Mario Kart 9 or whatever is next. But thank you, Caito, for like, this show could have been something that you just kind of like do quietly, and don't tell anybody about. And I would totally understand that. But the fact that
you hide it.
Exactly. Like, okay, I'll humor Sean for as long as, he's willing to do this. We'll see. Maybe eventually he'll just drop it. But thank you for sharing on your stream, because I know you have a lot of people who watch that, and a lot of people have discovered the Nintendo Drive thanks to your Animal Crossing community. So welcome on in, everybody. Welcome in.
Yes, welcome. I was wearing my merch
on
the stream, my Nintendo Drive merch. So I had to
Very
show it
nice.
off. I always have to show off what I'm wearing.
Very cool. Oh, I love that.
Little fashion show every stream, I guess.
I just realized today I should have gotten back in my car. It's been a while, but I should have just driven to the pharmacy. Like I think there's like a drive-through like pickup. Could have grabbed some.
That would have been fun.
Yeah. Just confirm my date of birth and my mother's maiden name and whatever on the show. Like all the details you provide. Like who are you? What drugs are you trying to get?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, nice little drug pickup.
Okay, we also have an Apple Podcast review.
We sure do.
I see it here, and I'm...
Buckle up.
This might be half the show.
Yeah.
This is from Drew Agnew from the House of Mario podcast, who says, a fun, upbeat Nintendo podcast you need in your feed. And it says, hello, Sean. It is me, Console Caito, host of the Nintendo Drive. Right now, you are driving around Canada talking about the most exciting Nintendo games and calling into McDonald's to buy the finest of Diet Coke. While I'm sitting at my computer reading the news and thinking about what items I need to add to my island in Animal Crossing Not So New Horizons. Do I have any purple flowers on my island? No, I don't. Oh, wait, yes, I do. They would look nice next to my mailbox with a white picket fence and a few apple trees. That way I can shake the tree every 3 days for some sweet cash. Anyway, Sean, back to the show. What are your favorite ways to play Nintendo Switch? Handheld? On TV? Personally, I stand up in handheld mode and run towards a wall, kick off said wall like Super Mario, and do a sick backflip. I might do this every 5 minutes. Just keeps the brain active, you know? Anyway, Sean, while you're at the traffic lights, I reckon you should do a sick skidaway. Glad I got to get that said on the show. I love everything the team does at Yumi and Capri. I never miss an episode of the Nintendo Drive, and if anyone feels the same, consider joining the Patreon. It's an amazing community and the best value subscription on the internet. Sean, Caito, keep up the fantastic work.
You did. Wow. Live read, everybody. Yeah.
Wow.
Soft golf clap for you. Drew Agnew from the House of Mario podcast is such a creative person and he's so unique. And on the House of Mario podcast, they often do like skits and it's amazing. Like you never heard anything quite like it. So it's not all that surprising that he's done something like this. And I want to give a special shout out to Drew too, because I think he left a review maybe before, but he updated it and he sent me a screenshot of it going like, just so you know. And it took 2 screenshots. He couldn't fit this all into like one. He sent the whole thing. He could have just sent me one to say like, hey, go over there and check it out. But there you go. There you go, Drew.
Thanks for that.
Get going. You never know. Like you're looking at a block of text on a page, you're like, well, that's long. And then you're reading, it's like, how, like, we got to time that. We got to put like a timer. Like, what was that, 3 minutes or something? I don't even know.
That was like a flashback to when they would call on you to read in class.
Oh my gosh.
Were you ever the kid who would like, they would go paragraph by paragraph.
Yep.
And you would scan forward to see which paragraph you were going to have to read.
You're not even hearing what the other kid is saying.
Right.
Yeah, you're definitely looking forward to like, okay, can I get a short paragraph? Because it was just, yeah, you could definitely get away with a short paragraph. I knew about that for sure.
But then sometimes the teacher would have the person in front of you do an extra paragraph or something.
Throws it all off.
And then you would frantically try to go to the next one to make sure you knew what you were going to read.
Terrifying stuff. Reading out loud is awful. Yeah, no, but it's also something that, you know, maybe we should learn to do, you know? Like there's certain stresses. Good. Yeah, I don't know. Definitely, I feel like podcasting helps.
A little unnecessary to put people on the spot like that. You know what I mean?
They're just going to cry about it. They're just these absolutely... Public speaking can be, I don't know. It's not too bad though. Like in the end, it's all going to be okay. It's fine.
Yeah.
But probably traumatized kids.
I'm a horrible public speaker.
I bet you're much better than you're saying.
No, it's awful. I get so nervous. I get so worked up about it.
You hear your voice like echoing on the walls. Like if it's like, you're just like, oh, is there anybody else hearing that? It's weird. And you're like not even sure where your place is. And you're like running your finger across the page too, reading it word by word so you don't lose your place.
Yeah.
Am I reading too fast?
Lots of and stuff like that. I had to do it in college and it was just horrendous.
But
somehow doing it on stream is not the same.
Well, you just crushed it just now. Like that was a whole like it was almost like a fanfic kind of thing.
Yeah.
Can we get like a fanfic of like our show? Can we get people like writing in like an ongoing like tales of Caito and Sean?
Yeah.
What would we get up to? What would the adventures of the potato and the pants do. Like, there's a
Did
lot
you
to
see
work with too.
Yeah. Did you see my new filter on stream?
I don't think so.
You would know if you'd seen it. You're just going to have to tune in one time.
Is it your
and let me know
Quiznos
that
thing?
you're there. It's not the Quiznos thing. I wish it was.
I do lurk a lot. I do lurk a lot because sometimes I just want to, I don't want to disrupt everything. It's very kind to everybody guys like, hey, Sean. I don't know if that might just be everybody. Maybe that is everybody. Like some people jump in and everybody goes nuts. But I'm like, you're just doing a thing. And I'm like, I just kind of want to say hey, but not like quietly.
Well, next time you're there and you want to talk, let me know and
Definitely.
I'll show you.
Okay, I will.
What's up?
Okay. I like it.
All right. Did you play anything? I know we just talked about not really playing.
Not playing anything.
But...
Super Mario 3D World continues on. I played it out of pettiness because Joey Splats, my friend who's living his best life right now, said that it wasn't a very good game. So I played it and I enjoyed it just despite him. That's kind of
good.
That's kind of it.
We love a good spite playthrough.
Big time.
Maybe I should do that too.
Well,
I'll play through it again.
I was thinking because I've played it before. I'm not even sure what is actually like, I was joking obviously about the spitefulness, but I'm like, why am I going to this one? I have Pokemon, which I have not played before. And I have very recently paid full price for it. Like, why aren't I going to that one? And I'll tell you the reason. It's because I'm very, very lazy and I'm scared of taking a cartridge out of the Switch, I think is what I've realized.
Okay. So you need to go digital.
I really do. I think I saw a sale in the US too. I think you can get like both Diamond and Pearl. But I'm not buying them for a third time. I can't do that.
Yeah.
And I'm also like, just days away from the next Pokemon game.
Are you going to get it digital?
I think I will. I have I traded in a controller of mine a little while ago. So I actually have, you're going to hate this. I have a GameStop gift card sitting in my wallet.
Oh my gosh.
It's $40.
That's what the fanfic needs to be about.
I'm telling you, there's so many things. There's the McDonald's, there's your cats, like there's all the stuff. There's just Canada. Like we could we could do an episode of this at the border.
Just Canada.
Like, like on either side, just like, talking to each other from across the way. But yeah, no, the GameStop thing is definitely, it's a saga. We haven't even been going a year and we've got all this lore. It's really quite amazing. Yeah.
Well, so I'm going to use that. Not to call out Joey further.
Oh, no.
But you did see that he purchased 4 new Xbox games and then decided to play an old game that he already had.
Instantly made me feel better. I feel like this is the new movement, Yeah. Everybody worries about playing like the latest and greatest thing. Like they would create content that they want to make sure they hit embargoes and blah, blah, blah. Nope, not us, you guys. Because this is how real people play games. We buy a bunch of stuff. We somehow justify it. And we'll play a game that we bought like a year ago or we've already played on Wii U or just keep playing Animal Crossing, Right.
Forever. I will let you know that I did pre-order Arceus.
Ooh.
So it is paid for, it is downloaded, it is ready to go. So I'm playing it.
We're gonna have thoughts next. We just said we're not this show, but we're gonna have first impressions on our first possible episode with the new Pokemon game. Look at that.
Well, we'll see if I play it. You know how that goes.
There's a lot going on with that game. Like I want to play it, obviously, but I also want to see how it reviews.
Have you watched any of the leaks or anything? Me either.
No, I did hear. I was listening to Nintendo Shack, just an amazing Nintendo podcast that people should be listening to. And they were kind of alluding to some of these leaks. And I'm like, I was hovering over the skip forward kind of button. I'm like, if you guys are going to do this, I'm just going to have to skip this topic. And they didn't, right. But I don't want to know. I just don't. I don't care. I don't want to know. I want to make up my own mind about this stuff. There's such a loud cacophony about just Pokemon and really just lately the internet in general, I think is just, guys, I know that we're like into like year 17 of this pandemic. Let's, we'll be kind to each other. I just want to be,
love the fact that you just used the word cacophony.
Oh,
because that was a whole, I almost said episode of my stream. One of my entire streams one day was trying to figure out how to say the word cacophony.
You can't think about it. You just got to go for it.
I'll have you know, if you are listening, or you, Sean, that word, no joke, is in every book that you'll ever read.
Oh, nice.
They love to use that word. And now anytime I see it, I just think about the fact that it's in every book.
Can I tell you where I think it came from? I think if you want to take a little journey inside my brain and like the little stepping stones that went along to it, it started with us talking about reading out loud in class, which is like an English class, right? So I'm picturing Mrs. Klein at the front of the class making everybody read. And then, days later, she's teaching us about this word cacophony and how it's like a noise. She even like made like a caca, like it's just like gross, like that. I remember her explaining this word very clearly. I don't remember, like, I'm sure I've been taught many words, but I don't remember like that specific, I don't know, like lesson about a word, but that word had a time for me. So There you go.
So we all have a time with cacophony. Let us know your story about the word cacophony.
This is another saga, another story for us.
Oh my
goodness. In our ongoing adventures. We got to set up like, there's like a website, I think, for fanfic, for like fan fiction stuff.
Right.
We got to direct people to like an official, like our endorsed place or whatever it is. We got to figure this out.
Write your stories.
Yeah.
Drew, you have to go first.
Drew's first. Yeah. Drew, kick us off. Episode 1.
Oh my goodness.
Should I grab my Switch for like the eShop sale or something? Or what's next? What are we doing?
Oh yeah, you can do the eShop.
Okay, well.
You go ahead and open up the eShop. We'll talk about the news really quick.
Okay.
So we do have 2 news stories here. Kind of. They're just game announcements, I guess.
There was a third one, and maybe we start with it, but I kind of took it off because I'm like, I don't know how to even explain this. There's improvements to the emulation for N64 games, and it's like, but sort of. And I felt like it was just kind of complicated. I just wanted to throw it out there that like we saw it. There's apparently some improvements to like the Zelda game, Ocarina of Time. Sidebar, my wife Chelsea 3D printed an ocarina and it works and it is so cool.
What?
It is so awesome. Like it was her birthday over the weekend and we just kind of like celebrated with she asked the kids, what kind of birthday should I have? And they said Zelda. So we just celebrated like Zelda all day long. And Chelsea, like, she printed a bunch of stuff with her Cricut and a bunch of stuff with her 3D printer. And I was drawing her stuff and it was just a Zelda day. And she played Zelda and it was a Zelda day. So it's pretty sweet.
I love that she put together her own Zelda birthday for the kids. Chelsea is just on another level.
She's on another level, man. Yeah.
It's too much.
I don't understand
Chelsea, you got to chill out because you're making the rest of us look bad.
Try living with her. My God. Like I can't keep up. I've resigned the fact that I'm just going to stay in my lane. You know what I mean? Just try and keep valuable.
Benefits.
Yeah. And just try to make sure that I'm, doing enough.
Yeah.
She could do it all without me. That's for sure. What were we talking about?
Nintendo stated Majora's Mask will be the next N64 game to launch on the online service. And it's set to launch in February, but they don't have a specific release date yet. So that's exciting. I've never played Majora's Mask.
Neither
I'm sure that I won't play it. It'll just sit there.
Neither will I.
with
Sounds very
the other
stressful.
games. And we also got news, and this goes along with JKJ's question that I actually think we got last week. We didn't ask for new questions because we were overloaded last week, which we appreciate. But this goes along with this. First, does your voice ever hurt from all of your enthusiastic intros, Sean?
No, it doesn't, but it does hurt when it sounds. I mean, today was a good example. Like I feel actually pretty good with how it went today. It never strains. It never feels like, ooh, that was a rough one to get through. But when I'm sick, then yeah, you definitely feel like I kind of give this a lot. And if I hear like somebody else try to do it too, like I was on Nintendo Pals and Andros, I love you, Andros. Andros tried to do a me and I'm like, I don't think that's how I sound. And you know what? I think I do that pretty good. I think I do the scream. It's a balance of a scream and I don't know. It's a little different. But yeah, it's something. But no, I don't know.
It's such an interesting scream because it doesn't sound loud.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's slightly jarring, but not negatively jarring.
Let's break it down.
But it's not loud, but you can tell there's like impact behind it. It's
very
strange. And I don't know how you do that. Like, how do you get your voice onto that level?
I'm watching the waves, like you can see your voice when you record it. You can see like, and I'm watching it very, very closely. Like especially during the intro. That's a thing. But I could definitely be louder, but that would just be like, it would blow people's eardrums out. Like that's not good either. So I'm well aware. What I want to do is like start the show with like a lot of energy, because anybody can start a podcast with like, what's up everybody? Like, welcome to the show. And this is episode 37, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, I wanted to do something a little different. And shout out to the guys at first Podcast Beyond. That's probably where I first got. They would just shout out Beyond, and Married to the Games, you know, has a lot of energy there as well. So that's it mainly comes from, I just don't know what else to say. So I just say, hey everyone, it's me, Sean Capri. So that's where I'm at.
It's good.
Yeah,
it's good.
Thanks.
But the real question is, when will we see the Star Wars Lego game? And JKJ, we got some news. The Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga will be released on April 5th.
That's soon.
So
it's right around the corner.
I'm sure you're going to play it, right? Because you've been playing Lego.
I finished Lego.
Xbox.
Yep. The Force Awakens I finished on Xbox. I love the Lego games. And especially if I'm in just like I want to turn my brain off and just kind of like smash stuff. It's very satisfying. You break stuff and that little clicking sound, your score goes up. Like, it's very basic. And I don't know if I'm going to play with the kids. Don't even know what Star Wars is, which is weird.
Yeah.
Like I was watching them actually. I've been on a bit of a Star Wars kick actually. And yeah, the kids came down. They saw that I was watching Star Wars and like, what is this? And I'm like, that is so weird to not know what Star Wars is.
Well, I just haven't learned about it yet.
And I wondered, like, is it too old for them? Like, Lincoln he'll be 5 in April.
They've got those little Star Wars shows.
That's true.
That they could watch. I think on Disney Plus. Because Aiden's watched some of those before.
Yeah. And does he like really take to it? Like, my kids are definitely like, they don't just like watch whatever is on TV. Like, you can definitely tell that they have a preference for one thing or the other.
He likes Spider-Man a lot better. There's this
the
Spider-Man show, and he really likes that.
Nice.
Not so much into the Star Wars yet, but I think he'll get there.
Yeah.
He has an obsession with bad guys right now.
Oh.
So everyone's a bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, why? I want good guys. Let's talk about the good guys. So every time he talks about bad guys, I have to steer the conversation into a good guy direction. But, you know,
so weird.
Such is life.
Yeah.
Yes, they are. Did you find anything on the eShop worthy of talking about?
You know, without getting into too much detail, I had to reset some internet settings, so I'm just getting in here now. So come back to me. I've got it sorted. The eShop is swiping back and forth now, so I'll get there.
It just takes so long to get into it.
Yeah, it's loading. It's just buffering here.
Yeah. Okay, let's jump into some questions.
Nice.
Ngachacha asks, when the inevitable Nintendo Direct drops, what do you expect to see and what do you want to see? And when do you think it's coming?
I think before the 3rd week of February is when we'll get it. And I specifically expect a date for Splatoon 3. And I think it's going to be mid-June. I think I'm going to say this. People can maybe remind me later. I'm going to say June 15th is my guess for Splatoon 3. I don't know if that's a Tuesday or a Saturday or whatever. I'm just kind of saying right in the middle of June is what I kind of expect to see. Because I think that they'll get that out of the way. If indeed we are in for a big holiday game, which we don't know what it is, but I don't think we're going to get what that is. We're not going to understand what the holiday game is. They're going to leave that for E3. But we'll get it. Yeah. Quite a bit more information on Splatoon 3.
Really? Okay. So I kind of agree with Splatoon, but I think that we will find out about the holiday game.
Ooh.
Because I think they've got bigger announcements for E3.
Bigger than their holiday game? Because I think about like last year. Like sometimes this is the thing about Nintendo.
Always compare everything to last year.
I know.
Sean.
No, you're right.
And the rest of everybody just thinks everything's going to go exactly the same as it always has.
That's true. You're right, and because that would actually be more interesting. That would be, and I guess I'm just trying to temper my own expectations because
look,
it's Nintendo.
Here's my thing about it. No matter what, the games that we do know that are coming out this year, even if there was nothing else, we know Pokemon.
Yep. Which
Kirby,
will be out. Yep.
Splatoon. Mario and Rabbids.
Yep.
That's enough.
Yeah.
That's enough for me for the year, even if there's nothing else. So I'm just like, this year I feel like I can't be disappointed.
Do you think they even have enough to say to like force the issue for a direct in February? Like, could they go until E3 without a direct?
I don't think they would do that.
That would be awful, right?
I think there's enough to talk. That's why I'm saying. That's why they have to have something to talk about. And it's going to be the holiday game, which is going to be Legend of Zelda.
Oh my gosh.
And then at E3, they're going to tease next year's stuff, which will be a new system.
It's so funny that I'm like now trying to like rewire my brain about like how I think about how Nintendo approaches a year. And because I do think that I think what they did last year was actually good. Even though when we were watching it, we didn't enjoy it. I thought last year's February Direct was great. And then I don't think I was happy with anything they presented after that.
Yeah.
And oddly enough, like the big reveal at last February's Direct was Skyward Sword. Like that was kind of a big deal. And we thought we were in for a wonderful celebration of Zelda on its, I think, 35th anniversary last year. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I've kind of said what I think is going to happen.
I don't even remember what happened at E3.
That's where we first saw Metroid.
When did they announce the Animal Crossing was going to get its own Direct?
It was like shortly before it happened. It was like 2 weeks before it happened.
It was just a random Direct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there was two things. There was two, because I think there was a Smash Direct. I think the final Smash fighter was going to be revealed, and then also Animal Crossing was getting its own thing.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a big deal to talk about too, because it's like Smash is done and Animal Crossing is kind of done in terms of news you can expect.
Gas.
I'm sorry, I know. Like, put the thumbnail down. That's the title of the episode.
Animal Crossing is done.
But put an asterisk in it just to be clear. There's a disclaimer. Oh my gosh, what's going on upstairs? Yeah. So like, there's two gigantic games that. Yeah, we can't really expect them to have anything more to say. So What do they do now?
Right. Well,
there's got to be an anniversary they can disappoint us with. Is it Kirby's anniversary this year? I think it might be.
I think it is.
Yeah.
No one cares enough about Kirby to care about that, though.
Well, he's getting a game, and I think I saw a new amiibo are getting, or but reprinted stuff. That's awesome.
That's cute stuff.
Yeah, they're all behind me. Still in the package for some of them.
Okay, well, those are kind of our thoughts on that. Sean is being very pessimistic, and Caito's being optimistic.
This is very weird. We must be feeling ill. We're just not ourselves.
Oh my goodness. Okay, Brent
Cooking
Robinson.
Simulator is $2.49, 90% off, 1 day remaining. Caito.
Yeah, you want to know what mine says?
What?
Purchased.
You can't even check the price. That's amazing. It looks like I don't know if this is a sequel to or somewhat related to that cat milk game that I purchased a little while ago for 10 cents. There's another game called Cat for 99 cents.
You want to know what mine says, Sean?
Purchased. That's amazing. Oh, here's a good one. Cover your ears, kids. Shift happens. I don't know what it is, but it's $1.99. But in all seriousness, there is a game here that I've played before. It's a bit of a visual novel. It's called Coffee Talk, and it is very good. It's 40% off. There's about 6 days left on that sale. $10 Canadian, probably $2.
I've been looking at that one. It's intriguing.
It's good. Yep, it's visual novel. So if you've never played one before, it's really just not a whole lot of gameplay.
Yeah,
just narrative, just talking and characters. So
I like that.
Yeah, definitely. If you're in the mood for something a little different, it's pretty neat.
What is this one? Little Mouse's Encyclopedia?
We're really doing it.
That looks so cute.
We might be. I wonder if it's different for us. Like, are you in the great deals section right now?
I am.
Crocs
I'm kind of
World?
far down.
Okay, yeah, you've made your way through. Oh, because you've purchased everything before.
Oh yeah, everything else says purchase next to it. So I got.
There's a guitar game. There's like a guitar, like a fretboard. It looks like you can like hold buttons down and then strum it. Oh my gosh, that'd be terrible. $2.51.
Did you ever play the Guitar Hero for the DS or the 3DS?
No, I couldn't. No, that little like device that they sold with it. I tried it like at a Best Buy, and I don't know why I even touched that thing, first of all.
Right, thinking about that now.
God, I know, it's so disgusting. No, did you play it?
I loved it.
Oh,
I
really?
played it so much. Me and my roommate in college, we would just sit there. We both had one, and we would just sit there and play.
Oh, it's the best.
All the time. It was
Nice.
so good. So
there's
good.
a curling game, $3.99 for curling. This might only be in the Canadian eShop, though.
There aren't quite as many. I think they've chilled out a little bit on their selection. So I wonder when the next big round of games will come out. Not that there's not a lot to choose from. These are all just kind of.
There's a lot. I'm still scrolling. I don't have a poker game on my Switch. Why don't I have a poker game?
There's one on sale.
Texas and Omaha. What does that say? Hold on. Okay, yeah, $3.98. That's cute.
Monkey Business for
$1.99. We don't have time for all the questions.
Cute.
We got a gigantic sale to check out, everybody.
Oh my! I just imagine Ryan listening to this while he's editing, thinking, "What are
I could
y'all
cut all
doing?"
this out. He has all the power to just like chop this out. He really could.
You might never hear this.
Oh, here's another poker game. This actually looks better.
Okay. Speaking of games on the eShop, this one looks like it's about Golf Story. So let's go to this. Britt Robinson asks, what do you think about the Nintendo Online strategy of dropping temporarily playable games, such as the recent Captain Toad access, or the Japanese store giving temporary access to Golf Story? I love this. This
is the best strategy of all time.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. And it's very Nintendo in a way that I feel like this can exist elsewhere. And it's like in terms of like Xbox and PlayStation, but Nintendo does it like there's one game. Let's make a big deal about that one game. And I actually like that spotlight that there's one thing that you kind of want to care about. It allows them to curate it quite nicely and drum some excitement and conversation around it. I think that's great. And also it seems to be maybe easier than just like creating a separate demo. So for people who don't know, like you have to actually like develop a different game and release that as a demo, like a different version of the game. So to just give people full access to the game temporarily seems easier, probably on the whole flow of it. So yeah, I think this is amazing. And I don't even know. I think we might have missed that. I feel like that was a couple weeks ago, maybe the Captain Toad thing. We'll try to keep an eye.
It was last week or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, we'll try to keep a better eye out on that because I'm a fan of that, definitely. Yeah.
I agree. Okay, Awesome Dave asks, I just picked up Monster Hunter Rise yesterday on sale. Have either of you played any Monster Hunter games? If so, how excited are you for the upcoming expansion? I've only played Monster Hunter Stories.
Yeah.
I played a little bit of Monster Hunter on the 3DS, but I couldn't really get into it.
Yeah.
So I've never tried Monster Hunter Rise.
It always looked kind of complicated to me on the 3DS. And every time I heard people talk about it, it's like, oh, there's quality of life stuff. But then there's also these other things you have to watch out for. And it's like, that doesn't really like sell me on it. But it seems like that series has come a long way. The most time that I've spent in a Monster Hunter game was Monster Hunter World on Xbox. And that was a moment where like Chelsea and I, we just kind of went like, let's play a multiplayer game. And so we bought that game of all things. We kept hearing people talk about Monster Hunter on Nintendo, and we had the ability for us each to play on an Xbox. And then we couldn't figure out how the hell to party up and everything. So that was a bit of a nightmare. Not a good kind of like first evening. Like when you put a game in and you want to play multiplayer, like that's so important. That first experience is so important and it can drive so many people away. And I think that was the case with Chelsea and Monster Hunter World. Unfortunately, I went on to probably spend 20 or 30 hours with that game. And then same as you, I put a bunch of time into Monster Hunter Stories. But then I got distracted with Zelda, I think, over the summer, and it really wasn't running all that good. Yeah. So I think to answer the question, it's not even on my radar at all, this expansion for Monster Hunter. Cause I also feel like that's a different style, than anything that I'm even talking about. I think it's still kind of, I don't know, maybe I'm completely out of my element here, but I feel like it's yet another version of Monster Hunter that I would have to go learn. And I haven't really gotten into the other two that I've played yet.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad he got it on sale though.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. Jordan LaRose asks, what are each of your most anticipated Nintendo titles for 2022? Look at you being prepared with your little notes in here.
I didn't want to be completely caught off guard. Maybe I'll throw it over to you. What are your? Okay, why don't I just start? Why don't I just start here with
I'm
the
prepared
obvious
and
ones?
you're not. You go first.
You go first. The obvious one is Chocobo GP on March 10th. Do you know what this game is, Caito?
It's that little bird, right?
Yeah, the little chicken thing from Final Fantasy. This is not one of my most anticipated games, but
it's not.
March does look like a crazy month.
It could be cute though.
It could be a bit of a dark horse because I think everybody has the attitude I'm kind of presenting here, which
I'm shocked that you didn't say that chicken game.
What a chicken game?
The other game. Well, Hatch Tales.
Oh, I mean, yeah, we'll see. We'll see if that it kind of goes in the category of some of the later games I've got noted here that has a 2022 date. But I want to remind people because I think whether maybe some people are new and they never heard this declaration, or maybe you did and you've forgotten. But when Project Triangle Strategy was revealed on, I think it was actually last year's Nintendo Direct in February. This is a Square Enix tactical RPG, kind of like Final Fantasy Tactics from back in the day. And they revealed the name Project Triangle Strategy. I declared myself as the #1 Project Triangle Strategy fan on planet Earth. And I maintain that. I maintain that, especially when they revealed the game's true name, not the working title, Project Triangle Strategy, the true name that is on the box. Triangle Strategy is the name of this game. It's coming out on March 4th. And in all seriousness, it looks gorgeous. And I'm really, really excited about that one.
Is it the same world as the Octopath Traveler one?
It's not the same.
Totally different thing.
I don't think so. It's definitely the same look, which I am all for. Square Enix can do this whatever they're calling HD 2D thing. It looks absolutely pretty gorgeous. Yeah, they can make everything in that style. And I think they're actually doing a remake for Dragon Quest, maybe 2 or 3 or something like that. Yeah. And it's gotten also an amazing name. It's Dragon Quest 2 HD 2D. I don't even know. So yeah, shout out to those guys.
Yeah. Well, some of mine are the same as your. Mine are just mine are just the ones that everyone knows about.
Yeah, they're the ones that are coming out.
Kirby.
Yeah. The games that are coming out are our most anticipated Nintendo titles for 2022.
Pokemon, obviously.
Yep.
And I'm going to say this again. This is Pokemon's, I don't want to say final shot with me, but a lot is riding on this Pokemon game for me.
Yeah, it's important. Mm-hmm.
So they better nail it with this one. And then Kirby, I'm excited about.
Yep.
Mario and Rabbids, I'm excited about. Splatoon 3, I'm excited about.
Splatoon 3 is going to be a moment, I think, for the community.
Zelda, when that comes out.
We haven't had... Can we talk about Splatoon 3 for just a quick second? It doesn't have to be long.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said yes, because I was going to do it anyways.
No.
we haven't had... I don't know. Maybe it's you're in Animal Crossing. Everybody, your community is gigantic and everything. But I feel like if you're not in Animal Crossing, there really hasn't been a game in a multiplayer sense that it has brought people together like this. We all played, many of us played Metroid last year and we talked about that and that was great, but it was very much a solo experience. But when Nintendo releases a game that you can play together, as you've experienced with Animal Crossing, and I'm looking forward to with Splatoon, it's a moment. It really is special, which is amazing because their online infrastructure has been awful. Let's be honest. But I'm really looking forward to that thing that I feel like we haven't had in a little while.
Here is what I'm hoping for Splatoon 3. And this is going to make or break it for me.
Mm-hmm.
I should be able to go online.
Yep.
And play with my friends.
Yep.
On the same team.
Mm-hmm.
Without being a certain rank or a certain this or a certain that.
Yep.
I could not stand that about Splatoon 2. Where I would hop online with a friend and we're on opposing teams. That's fine if you have enough people and you want to go against each other, but I want to be playing with my friend.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Just basic, honestly.
So frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
So if they don't have that, I'm going to be grumpy.
Yeah, that's the thing. And you're right, because there's a lot of kind of basic features that we look for in multiplayer games that just haven't been there for Nintendo. And I don't know. I feel like people's patience is waning thin on this.
You already can't talk to each other unless you have the mobile app. So why can't I at least play with my friends?
Even just partying up.
Right.
Yeah, like it speaks to a bit of a deeper issue as well. Like just being able to do something with your friends list. This is my I don't know, every 3 weeks or something I'm going to mention this. Like the friends list just says who's online and what they're playing. I can't message them. I can't invite them to a game I'm playing. Like some basic stuff we've been doing since the Xbox 360. So that would all be very good. But still, we've managed to sour the excitement for Splatoon 3.
Even if they
it's
just
warnings. It's just warnings.
Even if they just had the invite to a game thing, because I'm not scrolling through my friends list to see what everyone's playing all the time.
Right.
But if we were both online at the same time and you were looking for people to play and you were like, hey, come play this. Like I'm playing Mario Kart or whatever it is.
Yep.
Okay, I'll switch over to Mario Kart.
Mm-hmm.
But the only way to do that now is through messaging. And not all of my friends are people that I'm like texting with, you know?
Yeah. Yes.
So
yes. Exactly.
It's so
you have to have a
strange.
pretty, close relationship, I would say, with your Nintendo friends, which I guess maybe that's what they're going for. Maybe is they want to make sure that you have like who that person is before they message you, and there has to be another way around it.
But how do you, we've talked about this before. If you're not in a community like this, how do you meet those people to play games with?
Yeah. You get in Splatoon and then you start to write on the ground with your paintbrush or your roller. Yeah, discord.gg/console Caito.
Right. Oh my goodness.
Or draw up a QR code that they can take a picture of.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's where we're at.
Okay, well, that's what we're excited about.
Mm-hmm.
All the games that are coming out.
The games that are coming out.
We promise we're excited about the games.
Can you rank them? Can you say what's your most? What's actually like, and I hate doing this, so now I've gotten it out of my system that like these are the games that I'm excited for. Zelda, obviously, Lego Star Wars we talked about, but what's the top of the list?
I mean, if we're including Zelda's number one.
Sure. Okay.
And then
it's not for me. Triangle Strategy is number one, even if Zelda comes out. Yeah, Triangle Strategy.
Okay. Probably.
Okay.
That's an interesting opinion, but it's fine. Pokemon, number 2.
Wow.
Splatoon, number 3.
Oh, nice.
Kirby, number 4.
It's a great year, honestly.
It's so good. That's what I'm saying. Like, we cannot be disappointed.
Mm-hmm. My most anticipated is the Switch Lite OLED version.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm excited for.
Could happen.
I don't know. Splatoon 3, in all honesty, I think Splatoon 3 might be my most anticipated. I think that's what I know. I want that one to be great.
It has a lot of potential.
I have a lot of trepidation around it, but like it's sort of like the butterflies. Like I'm excited, nervous, like, ooh, what's it going to be kind of thing, which has it, it's not a sure thing. I feel like Zelda, like if it comes out this year, that's going to be a 10. We all know it. They're not going to screw it up. Splatoon 3 has a lot to it.
It's pretty either way.
It really could. Yeah. So, and I feel like it just depends on how grumpy the internet is that day. I think that might be a thing. I think the internet has like a mood. I think we need like a mood meter. And if we just wake up and everybody understands we're a little grumpy today, maybe not a good time to like, interrupt our flow with any sort of like news or anything. That'd be good. You know what I mean? Like you walk around people in your life and you're like, oof, I'm getting a bad vibe from you. I am not going to ask, your permission to do X, Y, or Z.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll just
wait until they're in a good mood.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Speaking of moods, we have one more question that I want to make sure that I get to because it's about Pokemon. And this is from the glorious one, Mr. Moody.
Yes.
So let's answer this. Hello. Do you think Pokemon Legends Arceus will be the only Pokemon game out in 2022? Or do you think they might have something else for fall 2022? Gen 9, new Let's Go. What do you think?
Ooh.
I think this will be the only one. And I am hoping that this is the only one.
Oh.
I think they need to take a step back and chill out with the Pokemon releases. Take a minute. Let us have time to breathe. Like, honestly, this one should have come out later in the year, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You just released another one.
Mm-hmm.
It should have waited.
Don't you think that is like kind of quieted down though? Like, don't you think people got their thing? They got their fill?
Because I think people are tired of it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know there are people who love Pokemon and they're probably going to bash me in the comments for saying that, but I think that's why this game, there's so much riding on this one.
Yeah.
And I do think that they're going to take into account like how people react to this. And that's why I'm so hoping that it's good. And I'm hoping that people react positively because it really needs to go a different direction.
Yeah.
I think there will always be a place for them to do the remakes, but it just needs to chill out. Like eventually they're going to be doing remakes of remakes of remakes.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Super duper shiny. Pearl.
Yeah. Super shiny. Yeah.
Be
you know
amazing.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't think there needs to be another one.
What about an update? Could they do like, is there like anything, have they done that before with like Sword and Shield? Like, didn't they have like something afterwards that came out that was like really super Sword and super Shield? Like, wasn't there something?
They should do the DLC route.
Yeah.
Especially with Arceus.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe next year, another Let's Go.
Yeah.
And then the next year, a remake of some kind, like one a year.
Mm-hmm.
I think is good. Another one this year would be a lot.
It's interesting, like, because I don't know.
Or even do like a Pokemon, what were those side games that they had on the DS? Do you know the ones I'm talking about? Like the Pokemon, it was like the Mystery Dungeon games.
Oh.
Do a Pokemon Mystery Dungeon game.
Yeah.
Remake of some kind.
Mm-hmm.
Have something different.
Yeah. That's what I was going to kind of explore a little bit was we're used to, I think we've already forgotten that like Pokemon was on Game Boy. Like we're now so used to it being on Switch, and it was a big deal for Pokemon to be on Switch because that was the first like real like mainline Pokemon games that were on a console. And now that's just the way that it is. And yeah, there's definitely more to this universe obviously than the mainline game. So yeah, like let's do a little something like that. I think that would be great. But I think I think they can really just keep cranking this machine out, honestly.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree that they can do it, but is it the best decision?
I'm anticipating a bit of a roadmap for Arceus. But I don't know enough, and I haven't been following along. Maybe the leaks say otherwise. Maybe there are people who already know what's going to happen. But this like open world thing might suggest that they could keep adding content to it, maybe for like a year. Like this is a new world, I feel like, for like Nintendo. They basically did like one DLC drop for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe or Mario Kart 8 and it became Deluxe. And that was kind of it. But open world game like this, like they really could just like have that as almost, I don't even want to say it, but like a games as a service kind of thing. Mm-hmm. You just keep playing and you keep buying stuff for it. That could be a thing. But so hopefully just the game is good.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's
just
like my
if the
favorite
content
model.
is good, same here. I totally agree. Yeah.
I know it's not everyone's favorite, but I just feel like you get so much value out of that, even if you're having to pay for more stuff.
Mm-hmm. I'd rather pay for that than a Pokebank.
I feel like no one complained when Zelda got DLC, but anytime any other game gets DLC, people complain about it.
I think with Zelda, it was like that game was obviously enormous. And I think sometimes with DLC, especially, I think that the announcement of DLC in relation to when a game is coming out is interesting. Like sometimes they'll reveal these are the DLC packs and they do it before the game is even out. And people will say like, obviously you just kept that out of the game so you could sell it later as DLC, and that can upset certain people. But like, I feel like with Zelda, it was so obvious that game on its own was gigantic, and if you wanted to just keep in that world that people were happy to do so. So that's a fine line, and you never really know until you actually drop the game on what people's reactions to it are. But yeah, I don't know. Nintendo has been so weird on all of this stuff that is so normal with everything else. Like why don't they just have a $20 to $30 expansion pack for Animal Crossing every year or every other year forever? Because they would have 60 million people buying that every single time.
I do not know. And you know what? I think they screwed up by saying, supposedly, allegedly saying.
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like the hype for it was like immediately everyone was like, oh, no more? Okay, we're done.
Yeah. Well, but that's a whole other topic too about do you want to be every time there's a direct going like, are they going to give us something more?
Right.
And do you even like, there's this looming, probably going to be a direct in the next month or so. Like, do you think that there's going to be anything about Animal Crossing, or are you taking what they've said as, like that's the way it is?
I'm not, because I think Nintendo doesn't tell the truth. And I think I don't 100% believe the news story about it personally. So, I think a lot of things can be lost in translation. So, do I believe that there will be no future updates for Animal Crossing? I think there will be fixes, obviously. I don't think there will be any like massive like we got for this 2.0 update. But DLC, I can definitely see happening. They can change their mind.
Maybe they didn't think the world was going to make it to 2023,
Maybe.
So let's push on to that.
But we also don't know at what stage they are in the process of the next Animal Crossing game. Yeah. Which there will be another Animal Crossing game. Mark my words. There is not a chance, because I've been seeing it on Twitter, people saying that there's not going to be another one. There is absolutely 100% no way that there's not another Animal Crossing game.
Do you think on Switch?
I think on the next system.
Okay, yeah.
It will not be on this current gen. Because I think the next Switch will be either 2023 or 2024.
Yeah.
And I think it'll be a Switch 2. It'll be the same style of thing, just an updated version, which is why they came out with the OLED, which didn't have any, major upgrades.
Not a Switch Pro.
Not a Switch Pro, because that's what's coming next.
When are we allowed to talk about that?
The Switch
Pro? Yeah. When are we officially allowed to? Because we're banned. We've banned ourselves from talking about rumors about whatever the next thing is.
I think after E3.
We're walking a line here. Oh, okay.
Because I think E3 would be the best time for them to announce it, even though I feel like last year you told me they never announced consoles at E3.
Yeah.
I think after E3 we can start talking about it, but it won't be every 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Because
no, definitely. It just got ridiculous. And I don't know. Again, some people are new to the show. It became, and really, if you listen to any Nintendo podcast, it's like every week it was like Nintendo Switch Pro rumors, blah, 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 blah. And remember when I thought Xbox Game Pass was coming to Switch?
Of course, I remember.
Oh my gosh. Oh man.
There has to be a reason that they have the Switches in the background of their stuff.
There was something going on.
No. There was nothing going on. They just had a Switch.
You're just giving a little digital kiss over to Nintendo. Like, I see you. Love you.
Okay. We need to wrap it up. We do still have a few more questions. We'll get to them when we get to them. You know how it goes over here.
Yep.
Where can everyone find you on the internet?
Oh my goodness. On Twitter and on Twitch at Sean Capri. It's Sean like Connor, Capri like the pants. And if you like the show even just a little bit, you can support us at patreon.com/Yumi Capri.
And you can find me on YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter at Console Caito. That is all for episode 38 of the Nintendo Drive. Thank you so much for listening. And until next time, we promise we will have played a new game by next episode.
The Nintendo Drive is fueled by patrons at patreon.com/Yumi Capri. And from the bottom of my heart, I am so grateful to the nearly 70 patrons who support us each and every month, with our special thanks to our Capremium producers, Dallas Ford, Lee Navarro, the fearless leader of the Phoenix Overdrive Extra Life team, and Jonathan Brown, the man behind the music on this show and the Xbox Drive. You can support Jonathan at youtube.com/PM Entertainment. Our platinum producers, Robbie Bobby Miller and Trucker Sloth. Our gold members, Argo, Benji Kong, Brendan Myers, Dallas Robbins, Dano, Emily O'Kelly, Foolish Fuji, Heather Boney, James Johnson, Joel Brooks, Jose Jimenez, Mac Time, Marcus O'Neill, Mr. and Mrs. Nasty Boots, RJ Kern, Skinny Matt, and Xavier Reyes. If you enjoyed this show and you'd like to support independent content, you can go to patreon.com/Yumi Capri and choose the tier that's right for you.